A lot of people consider Call of Duty DMZ to be one of the first truly accessible, casual takes on the extraction shooter genre. Now with the support for this beloved game mode now well and truly in the rearview mirror, this leaves a lot of gamers with a conundrum. Do we stay here and ride the wave, or do we move on to other games or game modes? Now for those wanting to stay with Call of Duty, you've probably already gravitated back towards multiplayer or Warzone. But if you're like me and you've found a taste for extraction shooters, there's a couple of options on the horizon that we could delve into. One of those being Delta Force Hawk Ops, and the other being Arena Breakout Infinite. Now, I've chose to investigate these titles as they fill the category of free-to-play extraction shooters. So today, let's do an apples with apples comparison against DMZ and see how these two titles stack up. Starting off with compatibility, DMZ was available across PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S and X. It was also available on PC via Battle.net and via Steam, and the PC port had controller support with aim assist. Now, in comparison, Delta Force Hawk Ops is currently only available on PC, as we have had the PC closed alpha and now the PC beta, but it's due to come out in Q1 of 2025 on PS4, PS5, Xbox Series S and X, and they're also looking at doing a mobile port on iOS and Android. At present, Arena Breakout is only on PC, which is available via their website, but they do have a sister title which is on mobile, so we could see future ports of ABI in the future. On to settings. Now currently DMZ has locations of Al Mazrah, which is a fictional Middle East city with a desert background and aesthetic. You can gain access into an underground Soviet facility in the form of the Koshi complex. Ashika Island is a Japanese themed island in the Pacific, and it has a lot of fog. With the Coney bots, it is a bit of a hostile place to go. You have Vondel, which is based in Holland, and it is a city with a lot of water, a lot of verticality set in an urban environment. And then of course we have the infamous Building 21, which is a secret research facility which is being overrun by the Coney bots and has a lot of corridors and close quarter combat. So far we have 3 maps available for Delta Force Hawk Ops, the first being Zero Dam, which is a medium-sized map with a bit of a Pacific vibe to it. There are some structured lanes which create choke points, which does make it feel a little bit like a multiplayer map. It's a little bit less open, but there's good variety with the POIs. Next is Liali Grove, which is also has a bit of a Southeast Asian kind of vibe to it. It is a very open map. It is the largest map currently in the game and has some interesting POIs, notable being the Hawk research facility up north and then the motel where the boss can spawn. We also have Space City, which is a futuristic city with a desert setting. This is part of the covert playlist, which means there's going to be tougher AI, and obviously players need to come in with a certain amount of gear to get into it, so it's definitely a more challenging map. And there will be 3 more maps with release, so it'll be interesting to see what the Team Jade have for us. Moving on to Arena Breakout, currently we have 3 maps over a multitude of playlists. We have the Farm, which is a medium-sized map. It is still somewhat open, but with the foliage, you do have good cover, so it's not like you're stuck out in the open. The Valley map is the biggest map at present, and there's a lot of forest areas. I do find that ABI has a bit of a different vibe from the other 2 games. It's a little bit more airy, a bit more quiet, but it's actually, I don't mind it, to be fair. And then the Armory map, which is close quarters. I guess the closest I can compare it to is Building 21. But very chaotic map, very difficult. I've only played 1 round so far and I got taken out by the boss. Okay, so taking a look at the menus. Now, I can't be the only one who thinks that you need a university degree or I've got to look up a YouTube tutorial to navigate the Call of Duty menus. I mean, there's lots of customization, but guys, do you remember the good old days? The original Modern Warfare 2? The only thing you really played around with was your sensitivity on your controller. Like, these have just gotten out of control. As for Delta Force, I think the Delta Force menus are fairly straightforward. There's a lot of options here to customize your gameplay experience without being too overly complex. And then switching over to Arena Breakout, it's the same kind of thing. Very similar to Delta Force, very simple for such a complex game. My only gripe with ABI is that I couldn't find the keybind for my bag. Okay, next let's take a look at the movement within the game. Now, I do definitely think DMZ has the smoothest and the most fluid moving of the three, with the sliding, the diving, the swimming, the fast parachuting. I think this is something that a lot of the casual player base do enjoy. Delta Force is not too far from COD. There is a little bit of a delay when going prone, and there is leaning. There is no swimming in the game as of yet, but it's just that little bit slower than, say, DMZ. And ABI is even slower again. It seems like it's a very long delay from standing to going prone, but that's probably due to the game design. They probably want it to be played a lot slower. And like Delta Force, ABI also has the leaning, so you can lean around corners. Okay, gunplay and gunsmithing. Now, DMZ and Call of Duty are well known for their smooth gunplay and handling of weapons. The gunsmith gives us the option of 5 attachments, and Modern Warfare 2 did have tuning, but I don't play around with that too much. I think the only thing that lets Call of Duty down is the tick rate of their servers, particularly Oceanic servers, but you may have a different experience. Let me know in the comment section. Moving on, Delta Force. So far it's a pretty smooth gunplay. I don't mind it. I've had a wide range of ping from the alpha and the beta. The different ammo types is a bit of a concern for me, and I do feel like the base TTK is a little bit quick. As far as gunsmithing, there are a lot of options there. Multiple attachments, handrails, flashlights, lasers. Definitely a lot to keep you interested without getting too in depth. And then lastly, Arena Breakout. The gunplay is quite good. It does play a lot slower, probably a lot more like Tarkov. Not that I've played Tarkov with the leaning, but I have the same concern with there's Delta Force with the different ammo types. If you're on a higher ping, you're going to feel like you're getting melted rather quickly. And I did feel like the customization was getting a little bit complex and confusing. Sometimes you do need to put on rails before you can add extra attachments. So maybe if you're a gun nut, but for a casual player, probably not so much. And probably the only other thing to note with Arena Breakout is there's a lot more realistic recoil, so that could be a bit off-putting for a casual player. So missions and mission rewards, which is a big part of an extraction shooter. Bit of a hit and miss with DMZ. I thought the bounty build for unlocking barters was done really well, but a lot of the mission rewards themselves are a little bit lackluster. Things like XP tokens and the contraband guns that weren't even meta weapons. You did get some cosmetic stuff for like tier story missions, player skins and some camos, which was good. And the weapons case rewards, they were done very well. As for Delta Force mission rewards are quite good. You get a lot of things that are very practical to use, armor, gear, weapons, and then there's a lot of the progression through the black site upgrades. They're quite good too. They allow you to craft things, so quite well thought out by Delta Force. Very similar with Arena Breakout. A lot of the mission rewards are things you can use in round: gear, backpacks, helmets, armor, that kind of stuff. I'm not that far into Arena Breakout, but so far what I've seen, I'm quite pleased with. So next we'll take a look at the stash, or the forward operating base. DMZ's forward operating base is broken into 3 sections. You have your mission items, your contraband stash, and your key stash. There are very few blue mission items that you can bring out with you. Some of these you do need for barters. Contraband, you can bring any operator, kill, or bot guns out with you. These can only be modified in-round at the workbench. And then your key stash, you can get keys from HPT contracts or off other players, and they also mission rewards. Okay, so Delta Force, you have a certain amount of space for your contraband stash, and this is for all of your gear. You can expand that through the mission structure, and you can also unlock other containers, so you can separate your stashes into more than one area. Arena Breakout is pretty much along the same lines as Delta Force. You can expand it through mission structure. I'm not sure about other containers as of yet, because I'm sort of still fairly early into Arena Breakout, but like Delta Force, everything has a value, so it'll take up a certain amount of space. So let's talk about the bots, or the AI in the games. In DMZ, they are considered to be quite a nuisance. But to steer clear of certain areas, whether that is Akhtar Village or Sarif Bay, those hot spots. The Coney bots are a little bit more severe in terms of damage. I think the biggest problem with DMZ AI is they stop you from plating, although they're not doing much damage, just the numerous amounts of them. In Delta Force there's a lot less AI opposition, but they do a lot more damage compared to DMZ. The trade-off is that if you're healing and they start attacking you, they won't stop your healing animation. The only exception to the pre-mentioned rule is the boss. The boss can delete you pretty quickly, so you have to have your wits about you when you're dealing with the bosses in the marked locations on the map. Now, Arena Breakout is pretty much a carbon copy of Delta Force when it comes to its AI. They don't stop you from healing. They do a lot of damage when they do hit you, but there's a lot less of them in numbers, so it is quite manageable. And the only boss I've come up against so far was the one in the Armory map, and that guy put me down real quick. So I think the general message in these two later titles is don't mess around with it. So next we'll just touch on servers, connection, anti-cheat, that kind of thing. Obviously Call of Duty has a fair few servers worldwide. I'll probably throw a map of that up on the screen as I speak. Unfortunately, with DMZ no longer being supported, they're not doing any bug fixes or glitch fixes, and unfortunately DMZ is starting to see its fair share of glitches, whether that be the teleporting from the Saba Village boat or the Koche glitch. It's something we have to deal with. And then the Ricochet anti-cheat, from what I understand, is that people have to be actively reported before the anti-cheat will actually do anything. Delta Force, I couldn't find any information on server locations, but so far I've had ping ranging from the high 40s all the way through to the mid 200s, so I imagine there's a fair few server locations worldwide. Anti-cheat is via Ace anti-cheat. I haven't come across any cheaters myself, but that's not to say it can't happen. But so far, through the alpha and the beta, very good experience, and we're still yet to see the full title release. So ABI, I couldn't find any information on servers, but so far I've seen ping anywhere from 30 up to about the mid 200s. Once again, same as Delta Force, it's using the Ace anti-cheat. I haven't come across any cheaters as of yet, and this game is 6 months into its life cycle, so there's still plenty of support there from the developer. Alright, so just to recap what we've been talking about, at present DMZ has the most compatibility, has the most variety of maps at present, and I believe it's got the best movement. Unfortunately, the support has finished. The bots are annoying. There's no real out-of-game economy to keep you guys interested. And, in my opinion, is that it's sort of so-so servers, and that Ricochet anti-cheat doesn't have the best reputation either. Delta Force, we're yet to see the full release, so there's probably got the most potential out of the 3 games on the list. It should have the most compatibility once we have full release, and we're yet to see the other maps. I believe it's got easy to navigate menus, the movement's okay, the gunplay's not too bad, there's good mission rewards, so it's worth doing them. It's got a good out-of-raid experience. The bots are okay, I've had good connection so far, and I've got no complaints with the anti-cheat. As for Arena Breakout, unfortunately it's only PC, we only have 3 maps, there's good menus, the movement is slower, the gunplay is more realistic, it's got good mission rewards and a good out-of-raid experience. The bots are okay, and so far I've got no complaints with the connection or the anti-cheat. Right, so there you have it, a lot of food for thought, a lot of things to think about of what games you want to play. Personally myself, I think I'm going to sort of be mixing it up and playing a little bit of all 3, whether or not I post those, yet to see. Let me know in the comments section below what you guys are interested in playing in the coming year. If you want to see more of this type of content, hit the like and subscribe. And as always guys, until next time, make like Arnold and get to that chopper.
Get to the chopper!